You're here because you want to know how to make the quickest auto crafting in applied energistics. Now, I just want to say this design is not my design. It's a design by John Hall. So if you want to go check out his video, then go ahead. But if you want to stay here, then great. And if at any point you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button and consider subscribing because we're on that road to 1,000. Let's go. So there are two structures that we're going to be making today. One is the quantum computer. The next one is going to be the assembler matrix. And then to power this thing, I'm going to use this system that we made last time. If you want a tutorial on this, there is already one up on the channel. It is a pretty long video, however, but this thing does hold 21,000 channels. So we can hook up 21,000 things to this little system right here. So the things we're going to need for the quantum computer are as follows. One quantum data entangler, one quantum computer multi-threader, one quantum computer core, either the 256M quantum computer storage or the 128M computer storage. Now, if you go with the 128, it's not going to be as quick as the 256, but it depends on what you can afford at that time. I suppose you could always change it out if needed. For today's example, I'm going to go with the 256 million quantum computer storage. However, the setup would be the exact same if you use the 128. We're then going to want 121 of these quantum computer accelerators, and then we're going to want 270 quantum computer structural glass. And the way we're going to start is by making a 7x7 glass cube. We start off with this platform that is 7x7, and then we want to go up another 6 blocks equaling 7 when we go on top of this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want to count this one, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place in all of these walls. Now, it probably does help if you have, say, a netherite stick and you just went along and did something like that. However, we can't use it until we throw in these two dog legs here to continue our walls round them corners. Like so. Now, I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a gap so we can get in and out of this thing. Of course, need to be able to get in and out. And then once we've got this sort of cube with an open top, we then want to just enclose that top. So the internal size of this thing should be 5x5. It should look a little something like this. The next thing we want to grab is the quantum data entangler, the quantum computer multi-threader, the quantum computer core, and either one of your storages, depending on which one you've made. I'm going to take the 256M, and then we want the quantum computer accelerators as well. Now, these 4 things here, the computer storage, the core, the multi-threader, and the entangler, can go anywhere in the system. So if you really wanted to, you could have them there, 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 and one over there. Then with the empty space that we have left in here, we're going to just fill it in with accelerators. And again, probably helps if you have one of these netherite sticks. So you could just fill it in like so. Make sure that you can get out like that, and then close this up, and you can see it's sort of changed into a little structure, and it says the device is offline. So now what we'll do is we'll hook this up to power and we can see what it does. Like so, it's now powered, and luckily for us, this thing only counts as one channel. So if you really wanted to, you could use the small cables. And when we right click on this thing, it'll come up with the crafting status and all of the code processes and the storage and stuff. Now this will allow us to request as many items as we want at one given time. So if we really wanted to, we could request Omega upgrades and 256M storage component upgrades, and it'll make them both at the exact same time. However, we don't really want to be using these molecular assemblers with these ME pattern providers everywhere. So we can simplify that by using the next multi-block structure, which is going to be the assembler matrix. And what is required for this one is 68 assembler matrix frames, 150 assembler matrix walls or the matrix glass. We're then going to want 60 assembler matrix pattern cores, 60 assembler matrix craft cores, and then 5 of these assembler matrix speed cores. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the assembler matrix frames. We're then going to create another 7x7 structure. Like so. So until we have something like this, and we want to leave the middle hollow for now. So we'll just clear it out for any sort of plants and things. And then again, we want to make this 7 tall. So 1, including the bottom. This will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We then want to just make a little frame. Like so. Like this, until you have something like that. It's all hollowed. And then we're going to grab... I'm going to try the matrix glass. In the Old Mods 10 series that we do, we actually use the matrix walls. However, I kind of want to see what the glass looks like, so let's go with that. It's a cosmetic choice. We can then fill in all of these empty spaces. Again, we want to make sure we have a little way out of here, and it probably helps if you have a stick to help you build this thing and fill it in a hell of a lot quicker. And don't forget about the top. So we have something that looks a little like this. Because this is a 5x5x5, there's about 125 spaces in here. And the max that we can put in of the speed cores is 5. And again, you can put these in any order that you want. I'm just going to lay them out here. So we've got 5 of our speed cores. We then take that 5 away from 125 because we've used 5 of them. We then get 120 left. We're then going to split that into 2 because we want the pattern cores and the craft cores. We're going to split that in 2, giving us 60. And then we just put in the whole 60. That should be 60 of the pattern cores. We're then going to want to place in 60 of the craft cores. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Now this doesn't turn into a multi-block structure until you actually provide it power. So we'll just quickly grab some of our cables. And you can see this device is now online. We can right click on it. And basically, this can hold a ridiculous amount of patterns, right? But it also crafts them as well. So I want you to think of this as sort of this setup enlarged and storage space times by about 100 maybe. And working in conjunction with this is amazing. If you want a reference on like a smaller system, so this is just a more powerful version of something that looks a little like this, with your crafting storages and your co-processing units. This is just a bigger version and a much, much quicker version. And this allows you to request as many items as you physically want. While this, you can only request one item at a time. So I'll show you this thing working, but to do that, we'll go on the All the Mods 10 server that we record on, because I have this thing set up with crafting recipes in. So you join me now in the All the Mods 10 server where we record, and you can see we have our quantum computer structure here and our assembler matrix structure here. Now I've got recipes already in here, so we'll go and request some stuff and we'll see what happens. I've been making a hell of a lot of these 256 mega item storage cells. Say I want another 20 of them, I can simply just request them like this. Say I want 20. I've got all the items. It's a pretty hefty crafting recipe. As you can see here, it's going to cost 11.31 M bytes of our 256 million quantum computer storage. We'll start that, but say I also want some diamonds. Say I'm running a little low on diamonds. I want, say, 20,000 extra diamonds. I can click next. I have the recipe for it. We can click start. We'll quickly head on over to our quantum computer, and this will now create these 256 million storage cells. And then once this is done, it'll go on to craft our 20,000 diamonds. And as you can see, it's only been a few seconds, but we already have 4 of them all ready to go in some of these ME extended drives. And what I'll do is I'll sit here and we'll watch this craft the stuff. And as you can see, both crafting recipes are completely finished. The diamonds actually finished way before the 256 million storage component cells. But like I said, that's because it crafts them together. And you can see that the thing that was bottlenecking was the ender dust. So that just means I need to find a way of speeding this up, whether I hook more ultimate crushes up to it, up to the extended pattern drives. One thing I will say is this thing does not work. This assembler matrix does not work with any sort of processable machines, if you will. So whether it be your crushing factories, sag mills, alloy smelters, furnaces, things like that, you still will have to use these extended pattern drives or even just normal pattern providers. But that's actually going to do us for today's tutorial. So thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button. If you're new around here and you want to subscribe, please do. That would be amazing. And I will see you all again for the next one. Goodbye.